Geez, the video shut off. All right, moving on, we have another word class, determiners. Determiners stand in front of the noun and they specify the noun. They tell you which of that noun or how many of that noun. So, for example, we've got a dog sat at her feet. The determiner in this sentence is a, and it comes before the noun dog. It tells us that it could be any dog. It's just a dog that it's at her feet. Could be anyone. Another two examples of determiners are the or that. The dog sat at her feet. That dog sat at her feet. It specifies dog because it tells us it's a particular dog. Another one would be my or your dog sat at her feet. That specifies the noun by telling us who it belongs to. All right, a dog that belongs to me or a dog that belongs to you. We also have determiners that tell us how many. So every dog sat at her feet or some dogs sat at her feet. That specifies by telling us how many dogs there are. So it's also a determiner, excuse me. We could also have in this context her as a determiner. Her dog sat at her feet, because in this case it tells us who that dog belongs to. All right, another word class we're looking at are pronouns. So pronouns stand in place of a noun or a noun phrase, and we use pronouns because they help us to not repeat the noun again and again, which can make the sentence boring or overcomplicated. What I'd like you to do is to read through these sentences and think about some pronouns you could use to replace the nouns or noun phrases that are bolded in each sentence. All right, so pause the video now and have a go. All right, well done if you said that. For Percy Jackson did his best to ignore Nancy Bodfit's jibes, we could say he did his best to ignore them. All right, Nancy always picked on Grover who seemed to annoy Nancy. We could have she always picked on Grover who seemed to annoy her. The school bus was full of people like Nancy. Percy and Grover stuck together. It was full of people like Nancy. They stuck together. All right, and our last word class that we're looking at today are conjunctions. Conjunctions can be, we've got two types. We've got the first type are coordinating conjunctions, and they join two words or two clauses together. So and, but, or are coordinating conjunctions. Have a read through these sentences. Which of those coordinating junctions would best fit? All right, pause now, have a go. All right, so the first one, Percy stood and waited. He heard Mrs. Dobbs making a growling sound, or he may have imagined it. He thought she would tell him off, but that was not the plan. All right, so these coordinating conjunctions are joining the two clauses in the last two sentences, and in this first sentence, they're joining these two words. So they're coordinating it. We also have subordinating conjunctions. So they introduce a subordinate clause. I'd like you to read through these sentences and think which subordinating clause, while, when, before, because, so, if, unless, or although, best fit in the sentence. So pause now and have a go. All right, well done if you said talons appeared when she flexed her fingers. Percy looked up because he heard Miss Brunel's wheel in. If Percy was frightened before, he was now terrified. So these are our subordinating conjunctions, and we use them to introduce a subordinate clause. I'd like you as well to think what is the main clause and the subordinate clause in each of those sentences. All right,